Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Session 21. So a recap of Session 20. The party had left their the keep. They had a little conversation, decided to go and swing by the camp where Yara and her companions had been chased away from and left their goods behind. We identified that things look large in her little hands.
To be fair, I left her goods behind too.
They then took the goat trail all the way back out of the mountains, and then head to Leshev, where they had drinks and conversation, and made an arch nemesis out of a flutier, a flautina.
Flautist?
Sure. They made an arch nemesis. A man will now burn down their home. With a
At least it'd be warm.
I was gonna say at least the windows will be closed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we left off. Your characters, I don't remember the exact spot where we left because Gwen was up crying and vomiting all night last week. So I kind of like ran out of here really quickly. And,
Again, I thought you meant in game, Gwen, so I was very confused.
Oh, sorry, not Gwendolyn, not Guinevere. So
okay. Weird that you named your daughter after a fake character.
No.
Stop kidding.
Well, technically speaking, the character was first, but it's Guinevere. My daughter's name is Gwendolyn.
Oh, the other thing
I never gave her the nickname Gwen. You gave her that nickname,
yeah.
and I just have to deal with it every week. Like, it's not weird.
Everyone shortens long names.
What? Yeah. Who wouldn't?
So
also, we had an argument with Elliot. That happened.
I smooth things over with Elliot.
So
sleepover.
My daughter Aurora doesn't like her nicknames, like Rory and whatnot. She wants to be Aurora, but she will tolerate family and close friends calling her Rory. So we call her Rory.
How about
Okay. Or just I call her Roar, like Roar. Roar. But yeah.
Rah. Remember, was it Rah?
Oh God! Did I tell you on YouTube?
Oh God!
There were so many comments. I can't remember who it was that was leaving those comments.
Is that his name?
But on YouTube, somebody started watching that series, and like every episode would leave like at least one, but like 2 or 3 comments complaining how like what's her name, Doxy's character needed to die because Cora needed to die because Cora was absolutely useless and would only focus the campaign on Rara, which was a side character that didn't matter to literally anybody else. And they're like, if this character isn't central to the plot, if it's not like a Darth Rara, it was this whole
Darth
so
Rara.
Rara became a focal point for a little while. But you can't always help that. Sometimes the interactions just kind of like, you got to play your character. It was a weird one, but like, that was just...
It was a weird one. But let's get back to the game here. So, yeah, it ended
There was
with...
the opposite side where Trini was forced on me.
That was
in every game we played thereafter.
Listen, I can't. It was Mathis's kink, and I'm not going to shame his kink, you know?
You brought her back like 4 times.
Listen, it was Mathis's kink, and I'm not going to shame his kink. You know, I was trying to be a good friend. You know, trying.
Siam was about to drop
By forcing his kink onto another friend.
No. Listen, Keegan.
He's like, hey, my friend likes feet, so here, eat mine.
Oh, my bad.
Barbara Barnes. Barbara Barnes totally exists. She's Barbara Barnes is in Vala. But let's get to the game. It ended with you guys having a fight with Elliot, because even though he never said he was going to, well, that's not true. He said he was going to pay specifically Aldo and nobody else. It was 1 gold piece. He spent all of his money, so he saved some money for what he needed to do afterwards. But when you forced him to go with you on the adventure, he spent the last of his money. Sans like
he wasn't forced. He was drunkenly convinced.
Convinced. Yes.
He was forced to go on the adventure. And because of that, he spent the last of his money on like a horse and some supplies and so on and so forth.
You're the DM. Give him more money. What the fuck, dude?
Do I just print money? Do you just do like campaign
inflation? Do better than print it.
Literally, you can.
You have this. You have the key to the reality cabinet. You can help us out.
He was no. There was no consent, Kajitar. He was drunk. That is not given consent.
So were we.
That doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better. You know.
Next day, you know what he did? Willingly hopped on his horse and went.
Listen.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys sound like
the
a couple
agreement happened drunkenly, right?
Right now, you guys are sounding like some Supreme Court justices saying that this was just Devil's Triangle. It was a consensual game you were playing.
The wobbly H didn't happen until he was sober.
The wobbly H?
I won't describe what that is.
Am I the only one here that doesn't know what that means? Jake, please tell me you don't know either.
I've never heard that reference before.
Okay, good.
Okay, so what you have is 3 people, and 2 are standing, and 1's in the middle making the H.
Oh, I figured what you were talking about. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a bit wobbly because there's a lot of motion.
Gotcha.
That's the first time I heard of it. I just immediately got the imagery.
Gotcha. See, I think Eiffel Tower.
Imagine like 2 guys trying to saw a big log, but the saw is a person. Like a big log is already in 2.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Log.
I think we completed level 2 of the hype train. We're on level 3, so yay! That's a good start.
That's just level 2 complete. Yeah.
Yeah. Wade not
this
being
is
a small
working.
part of that. All right, cool. Let's get back to the game. So you walked him back to his place, Wade, where you were having some conversation, and then we just kind of like summed that up super fast. I just remembered what it was. Summed it up super fast, and more or less him going up, grabbing his supplies, and then going with you back to your place because you wanted to ensure that he was going to be safe. When you get back to your estate, I do want to point out that the extra logs that you throw onto the fire eventually did burn out. And so while it is going to be chilly inside there, it is definitely, warmer than it was when you first arrived, which is nice. The windows, well, that one window, unfortunately, did blow back open because it's just a week lat. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's closed. And you're able to go in and check it out. The one thing that you yeah. So you're able to go in and get back in there. There's like no furniture in there, effectively none whatsoever. So as you're heading upstairs to point out who's in what room or whatever, it is everywhere is equally cool or cold. Everywhere is equally unfurnished, and so fortunately he's going to make use of his bedroll that he had purchased prior to leaving, which is good news. All right. Anything else?
I think I was performing.
Yeah, but I think we already concluded.
Oh,
that.
we rolled for that. Yeah, we rolled for that. Okay.
Yeah, you did really well. The flutist rolled really shit, and then you said something and insulted him. He was like, I'm leaving. Then he like played himself out really shittily.
Yeah.
Gave himself like a
That was a missed
remember
opportunity.
exactly.
You should have had that happen, Scott.
Just like angrily playing the flute in people's faces on his way
Scott
out.
even had him close his own coat in the door and have to reopen the door to leave. So like,
Yeah.
if this dude becomes a villain, he'll be the worst villain of all time. He'll be the kind that trips and falls on his own sword.
We're talking like long mustache, like, nah, I'll get you. Nah,
It's
yes,
the
I
one
will.
that gives us a 30-minute dialogue and then dies before we can get to him.
Oh my god, I will. I've told the story 1,000 times, but for those of you that have not heard it, super short version. When I was playing a campaign with Mathis and other friends many years ago, Mathis was playing a anti-paladin, and literally the end boss of the campaign, I think he had a void scythe or whatever it was for his weapon, and so it was the end boss of the campaign, and the guy was giving his like end boss speech. And he's like, I keep inching closer. I'm like, sure. And then like at one point he's like acknowledges it, but continues his speech. And then Mike's like, am I within charge distance? I'm like, well, yeah, roll initiative. And so he rolls initiative, wins initiative, makes his attack roll, nat 20, confirm, and one shots in the middle of his end boss speech, the end boss of an over 3-year IRL campaign where we play once a week for 10 to 12 hours a week. It was over 3 years.
That's awesome. I would love to do that.
I was upset.
As a player, that sounds like a dream scenario.
As a
Quick
DM,
combat, great loot.
as a DM, I had dozens of hours in prepping the end boss's character sheet and all of his spells, because they were like what, level 17 or something. So I had this like level 18, 19, whatever it was, like spellcaster really. Anyways, I was very sad.
I love that.
Okay. He had no buffs, contingencies, nothing ready before he started his speech.
All sorts of things in place, but because he was part of the whatever cleric it is, the one that Monsoon is from. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's been a long time since I played
Manchun.
Manchun.
Yeah.
Manchun has the coif that protects you from like critical hits or whatever. He didn't have that. And if you don't know what a Void Scythe is, Void Scythe literally just kind of consumes you. You win. And so the fact that he nat 20 confirm, which was the house rule auto kill anyways, and he had a Void Scythe which just needs a confirm, and you auto kill. It was just like I had nothing to stand on, you know? I can't remember his name, but he was like the High Priest of Bane, the blonde guy. He's depicted with like a mace.
I don't know, but we're 3 minutes late. We're back.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. The name, it's not coming to me though.
Yeah. Hey, I jumped right into the story. You guys wanted to distract with side stuff.
This time on Lost Initiative.
You showed up with Elliot. You showed him the different rooms. Do you go to bed or do you go back to the bar for more drinking?
Be clear, level 2 was complete. I think we just go back to the estate. I'm not going back to the bar at this point.
Yeah, I think that was a plan, right?
Yeah,
we're all going back there.
We kind of finished up there.
Yeah, once I'm done and I confirm with Aldo that Koa went to convince Elliot to go to the estate, then I would just go back.
Is it late or what time is it right now? Because we met up with Elliot, but I don't think we met up with him late. But I don't know how long we stayed at the bar.
It was pretty late at the bar, so you didn't meet up with him super late, but you guys were there drinking and all the other stuff and the partying or whatever. Because like there was lots of celebration and so. Anyways,
I think we pushed to get here too, if I remember right.
So I assume you did sans the whole day that you had to spend back at that person's house, the seller's house. But Mikhail, did you I assume head back to the estate eventually to pass out?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you were like trying to go and find that guard that you're friends with or anything like that, or no.
Nah, he's probably more just wanting to make sure like stuff at the estates, nothing weird happens, and that stayed there before Elliot's there. So,
all right,
nothing crazy today.
Oh, so you go there after Koa leaves, but like right after Koa leaves?
I mean, probably shortly after I'm done performing.
Yeah, Koa left because
I was doing
he was
that.
Performing. Yeah, and then we were leaving.
Okay, and then it brings you over to Aldo. Aldo, I assume you're not staying out to get into more trouble.
No.
Okay, just making sure the hero of Leshev isn't going to find himself behind bars. Cool.
The
anyways,
real hero of Leshev.
You get arrested by the same guard, and you're like, "Come on, I'll bring it to Mikhail."
Oh, you're gonna start something now.
Anyways, so yeah, you make your way back to the place. Everybody's able to pass out, so on and so forth. I assume there's no more RP need to be had this evening. Maybe just kind of like checking in, and I got Elliot here, and
Are the book nerds gonna book nerd? We have
book nerding.
Yeah, not tonight though. There was a lot of drinking or whatever, right? So not this evening. But what I'll say is I
mean, there was a lot of drinking, but Aldo had taken 2 of our drinks out of like 3.
Elliot won't be book nerding tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and you can inform Mikhail that like he actually did get the you did get the horse. And Mikhail's like, yeah, that letter made that pretty obvious. And you're like, oh. And the next morning, you guys are able to wake up, and we can kind of continue things from there. Aldo, for you, sir, it's so funny. I jumped in talking about last time on to jump right in, and it's still 22 past. Aldo, you, I imagine you wake up the next morning and you were feeling like absolute trash.
Yeah, depending on how. I mean, he didn't overindulge, right? But I need to know: am I healing a point of con damage?
Every night you heal 1 ability point, not 1 each, just 1.
Yep. Okay. Good. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't feel great, but he doesn't. It's not like before, right? He didn't stay out drinking. Like, yeah, he had a few.
Imagine that you have constitution damage and you get completely shit cans, not to the degree that your character has before, and yet you still feel better the next day.
Yep.
Should
That's
be
how
like
you
a
know
penalty.
you got a problem.
There should be a penalty like no, actually you didn't recover make a fortitude. Yeah. Anyways, so the next morning you can imagine your character. He feels like shit at least for the first hour or two of being up, and then eventually the hangover starts to subside. He does again feel better than he did originally yesterday, but we're kind of getting into it today. So Elliot is there. Eventually he would come down, and there'd be a bit of an awkwardness to him at first, but pretty quickly him and Mikhail can get into looking over the book because he is interested in finding out whatever could be done. So when it comes to understanding the book, you could point out the details to him for how it is that it functions, and you guys can make the check that is necessary. I just started the session.
I would like to talk to Mikhail and Aldo before we have the interaction with Elliot, but
Sure.
It doesn't have to. Like, we can do their thing first, then we can backtrack if that's easier.
No, that's fine. You go ahead and let's look something up. Go ahead, sir.
Talk to Elliot. Obviously, he stayed here last night. Smoothed things over, I think, a little bit, but was wondering if perhaps we should give him one of the Mull coins, or perhaps one of the remnants of Mull artifact we had found is just a gesture of some sort. He has put everything he has and then some into this, and although getting paid would be, again, nice, I will reiterate, I think we need him.
Wait. So are we paying Elliot for our work?
Paying him, I suppose you could look at it that way, just something from the keep, I figured, is not really so much payment as it is a
investment at this point.
Investment. Yes.
I mean, I imagine anything we give him.
I mean, the guy straight up scammed us,
something
guys.
of
Like,
investment.
I don't know what to say.
I think it's more of a matter of maybe he's just not competent in those matters.
No.
How much did he promise you anyway? We never got a total.
Well, we were supposed to get a gold each for finding the keep or whatever. And he was supposed to finance the thing. So he's financed it to get there, but he just hasn't paid us for our work.
Well, he gave us his horse that he bought, which is worth
6?
that much at least. We could always sell the horse if we really want to get the gold, but I mean,
my problem isn't
feel.
that, it's the fact that he just doesn't understand like what went wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like those carpenters in Haudh-Gwenn, you know, you tell them, oh, I want my shop fixed, you know, someone smashed the door down or whatever, then they fix it, and then you're like, I paid for the wood, you know what I mean? Like, that should be enough, right?
I think you're correct in that he didn't really understand everything, but if he had promised a gold each and gave us 6 gold horse, then he in fact doubled his payment. And perhaps we let bygones be bygones, move forward from here with a better understanding.
I'll let it go, but the fact of the matter is, like, it's annoying me that he didn't understand that. And it's not like he said, I'll finance the thing, you know what I mean, and pay you. He specified an amount that he was going to pay and then had to be coerced into paying it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it bothers me.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. I mean, he has balanced the scales, but yeah, he did do that. We just don't trust him for those specific matters. I mean, in the end, he made it right, and I don't know. A lot of the lead up to that was a bit messy. We were drinking too much. I honestly didn't even know how much we were supposed to get paid until now. We just have to be a bit more careful about making sure we're all in the loop in the future, and we can hold people accountable.
But since he did in fact give us the horse, and we are square now, the question remained as to whether or not we try to just, I don't know, give a gesture of goodwill or an investment, as Mikhail put it, and giving him one of the mole coins. We still have, what, 4?
We have exactly 4, which are... I mean, those are very valuable.
Let me dig in my pockets here. I have a blade or something, but I don't know that I want to necessarily give that away.
How much
look,
did your work from Hinter cost?
I cashed in my favor to get it.
Therefore, a lot.
I imagine she would do that for one of these coins.
So that's extremely valuable.
Extremely.
Especially to the right people.
Yes, that does sound extremely valuable, as my armor and sword could both use a bit of a... Well, you know, the whole thigh thing. Hoping to maybe get a better armor there. I think I hear him
really
snoring up there.
concerned
You hear
about
that
that.
noise?
No.
Me either.
Regardless, the coins are even beyond monetary value. They have trade value. They have sentimental value to the hobgoblins. These are... I don't think we can just give them up. I mean, I'm fine giving him access to them. And maybe if there's something of value we can trade that will push along, his endeavors, what he's writing, and get us closer to that, then I'm fine giving one up for that purpose. But just as a token of goodwill is buying someone a drink, putting him up in an inn, not giving them a small fortune that could be traded for a...
the token of goodwill could be you teaching him how to decipher these books. Like, really.
Other than the messiness of this adventure we just went on, I don't really feel anything against him. This is something I would love to have done regardless. I don't know that we need to provide a token of goodwill. I feel like maybe just letting all the rest of this go and keeping him in the loop on what we're discovering. I think that's probably all he wants. I'm going to go ask him in a minute.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask. I do want to stop by and chat with Hinta. I might ask you to make an introduction. I do have these blades.
Right.
This head of the spear and coins and such. But again, taking a bit of a beating here, being as I kind of tend to charge into battle head first, whereas obviously you stay back and sleep, and you have the bow and everything else. So sometimes getting my, again, thighs bitten or stabbed or shot repeatedly, well, it fucking sucks, to be honest with you, and I'd like to not have that happen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, I don't remember seeing any armor in her shop. I think she's more of a weaponsmith, but maybe she knows someone.
There is an armor smith in Haudh-Gwenn. I'm fairly sure.
Do you think they deal in mole coins? Because my gold is a bit,
yeah, you're probably right.
Trust me, look,
I do
you
have the
wouldn't maybe
gems
think
from
so.
Gemsmith that should be in the banks of Haudh-Gwenn soon.
Oh yeah, we have bank money too. I almost forgot about that.
We do have some, yes, but I've got a couple of valuables. My request from Gemsmith was the gems. So,
but look, you may not think it, but your weapon could probably use an upgrade. I can't tell just by looking at it, but
I agree with you. I think it needs to be sharpened and polished and.
Listen, she's gonna like you a lot more than me because I barely know weapons. I was a lot of my depth, but you'd probably really like that shop.
Do you mind me using one of our coins there?
If there's 4 of them, I figure 1 each. We don't have to ask each other about, right?
Great. All right. 1 for you.
Yep.
And you want 1 for you, and he'll hold 2. 1 for me.
I think that other one is probably our reserve in case we need it for something else, right?
Like an armor upgrade. Excellent choice.
Potentially, but she's not going to be the person to do that.
Maybe you weren't looking hard enough. Perhaps I'll notice something you did.
Let me at least let Elliot look at the extra one. Maybe he knows something, and then we'll figure out what to do with it.
Fine, very well. If I lose a thigh, remember this.
Okay. I'm not sure how that'll help, but I will. Takes the coin.
Coins themselves, I mean, they could handle the lock trap. Perhaps if I just melted these down and made a thigh pad or something. Be really thin.
And heavy and soft.
Take the damn coin.
Do you still want me to make it in? I kind of don't want to. I feel like
Don't
somehow
melt
I'm
it
gonna do
down. Just
something
show it to
wrong.
Elliot as it is.
No, I mean introducing you to Hinta.
I mean, you don't want
I've been there, but... Well, she's kind of mean.
Is she a mule?
No. Mules are different. Like, no, but no, she was
think
just
that you just
mean.
have a personality problem, Mikhail. Perhaps you need me around a bit more often to bring the jolly.
And yet me saying you looked scary at night in a blizzard with a sword was too far.
Again, speaks to your social falters.
Alright, so just take the main road, go as far. He just tells him how to get to her shop.
Aldo, do you care to go? Perhaps, look at your crossbow. Well, no, you had your favor was the other bow, right? You found a bow.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that. But I will accompany you because, being here listening to Elliot and Mikhail talk shop might put me back to sleep. No.
Well, perhaps
no
we can make a
offense,
stop
Mikhail.
by Jim Smith's as well as Hinta, and we can see if there's any update as to the bow. It's been a couple of weeks.
Several weeks, but where he's sending it to, it could take just that long just to get there, depending on the route that was. Because like if you didn't send like a direct package, it would have been there forever ago if it was direct. But if you're sending it with merchants that are making their way along the way there, and they had
It's like 120 gold favor, so of course it'll be overnighted.
I mean, it's also getting very.
It was sent on the back of a wyvern that's dying of diarrhea. Full speed ahead.
The diamond diarrhea.
Dying of diarrhea is what I said. It's not what I meant to say, but it's what came out of my mouth.
Okay, I was like, "What is
That's where Jim
diarrhea.
Smith gets all of his gems from, eh?
Right?
You feed charcoal into the wyvern, and their intestines compress it to the other end.
No, no."
We'll set off.
Oh.
Propulsion.
All right. So you guys are going to head over to speak to
Hinta and then Jim Smith.
Yep. So you go to her shop, and when you get there, you can see what is it? You can see that the shop has changed ever so slightly in that the
I've never been here.
awning. The awninged area outside, where there's like work being done. There's there's a fire blazing. You can hear the hammering, so on and so forth. When you go over there, you can actually see that there's a human that's working on something out there. So it's just a single human, a boy that's there doing some stuff. And so when you go walking up, not necessarily into the shop, it's up to you if you just want to go straight in. You can see he's working on some stuff that's there. And then as you kind of eyeing this on approach, and based off of what you've heard from her description, that can't possibly be Hinta. They're Koa. I mean, there's a human boy that's there.
Oh, let me talk to Aldo.
And then hold on one second. As you guys are approaching, and you can of course have a conversation with Aldo, you see another person pops up, and it's another human who looks even younger than the first. If the first was maybe 16 or so, this one looks like maybe 14, maybe 12, like much younger human boy that's there. All right, feel free to talk to Aldo if you'd like.
18, 16, 14? My brothers. Also, forensics having trouble accessing the init thing. So that,
It says Cloudbot's
Let's tell them
active.
they're not authorized.
Yep. Not authorized for what?
to spend points.
Everything's active, and other people have already spent points today.
All right.
have no
Scott
idea.
says it's a skill issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
other
making
people,
it your fault.
other people have spent points today.
Yeah, well,
Saying it's
even
your
forensic
fault.
thinks it's forensics. All right, yeah, we all
Welcome to the
agree.
crew.
We all agree,
Yep.
forensic. You did this to you.
Yeah. I mean, your name is Forensic. Something tells me you should be able to discover the root cause.
No, this is Sherlock Domes.
Moving on.
Forensic screwed forensic.
Aldo, I don't believe either one of them are hobgoblins. I think Mikhail sent us to the wrong place.
And they could be hobgoblins in disguise.
I suppose we'll find out. Pardon me.
Yeah, you say that. Sorry, you were pausing. You say that, and one of them like looks up, and you know, from the work that they're doing, it was like, between hammer strikes, like, "Pardon me, ting, 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 ting." Ooh, look up and see you there, and they call over to the other other boy, and say, "Hey, customer." And so the younger one, again, 14, maybe 12, you're not sure, comes running up and is like, "Oh, hi there."
God. Oh,
Keep
late
talking about
bloomer.
You can hear the acne.
Hercules before he got his powers.
Yep. Remember that pre-super serum Steve Rogers? Yeah.
This is morning,
It's the
right?
vibe
We're in the
I'm
morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. Looking for someone by the name of Hinta to perhaps assist me with a weapon or some armor or such.
Oh yeah, if you're looking for a Hinta, she's inside. You can talk to her there. Yeah. Oh wait, do you have an appointment?
I do not have an appointment, no, but I think I have something she may be interested in.
Oh, looks over his shoulder, looks back and says, "Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Great. I'll see myself in.
Yeah, good luck."
As we're walking in, Aldo like puts his hand on your shoulder and he's like, "You know that kid's gonna be making your weapon, right?"
I'll be good enough to tell if that kid makes my weapon. He needs to go to a bar or something, get his balls to drop.
Well,
He needs to
see
swing
what
more than a
type of,
hammer.
operation she's running here, hey?
Well, perhaps
But there's
the
a hint of
labor's
magic in these
cheaper.
weapons.
Apparently she does good work. She has a good reputation. So maybe they're doing the menial work for the less astute customers like Mikhail.
Do you think she hires like underage people because they're like cheaper?
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have to pay them as much.
Likely so. Hopefully they're not fully dependent on the work. Otherwise, step away from slavery, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe they're her nephews or something. They family resemblance. He'll say, picturing every hobgoblin he's ever thought of.
Okay. You guys go walking in, and when you go walking into the shop, you can see that inside the shop, it kind of breaks down into effectively two different views that you have inside there. There's a whole bunch of weapons on either side, and you guys, when you first go walking in, no bell goes off or anything like that. There's no immediate tell that there's any shopkeep or anything inside there. But you have like a moment to peruse, unless you go walking straight to the front and slam your hand on the counter.
Oh no, I want to see what kind of blades. I want to see her work.
Yeah. So when you walk in, Wade, do you immediately walk to the left or to the right?
Whichever side looks like it would have two-handed swords.
Both sides have weapons.
Can I not tell where the swords are?
Both sides.
Left.
Okay, you go to the left, and when you walk over to the left, you walk up to it, and you can see there's not very many weapons on the shelves that are over here.
But I'm glad I picked this side.
But as you
There are
walk
no
up,
weapons over here, you idiot.
there
Why
are
didn't you go
weapons.
right?
There's not as many. But as you walk up to them and check them out, looking at them, they actually do seem well crafted. Like there's a degree of craftsmanship to them, so they're not bad to look at, so on and so forth. But making something look pretty does not make for a fine blade. It just makes for fine pageantry. But if you take something off of a shelf or off of where it might be hung up, and you properly hold it in your hands, give it a good swing, so on and so forth, you can feel the weight in it is actually really nice as well. No, there's no doubt in your minds, especially after you pick up and feel the weight in the balance of the third weapon that you grab. These are in fact well made. Since you went to the left, we'll assume Aldo went to the right. And now, Aldo, there are many weapons to the right. Many weapons indeed. And they're literally like, so if you imagine like, to go to a grocery store and you'll be like, oh, okay, there's like those little metal things that like something's like hanging on. It'll be like that, and there'll be like 3 swords sticking on it, and immediately adjacent to it, 3 identical swords sticking out of it right there. It's like literally racks of very similar made weapons. You grab one off of the shelf, and so your character is not like, you're trained, you know how to fight, so on and so forth, but you're not as into that sort of a thing as say Koa is. But you know your way around the blade. So when you pick it up, you don't necessarily notice it immediately, but after giving it like a swing or two, just like, well, Koa's swinging them around, so fuck it, swing it around. So you're like, oh, this thing's strangely top heavy, and then you grab another one, you're like, oh, this one is too. Like it feels like it overrolls in your hands. You prefer a lighter weapon in general anyways, but holy shit, these things feel unwieldy. And there's a lot of them over here. Anyway, so this is what you guys are immediately seeing. Do me a favor for both of you. Go ahead, because neither of you are craftsmen or anything like that. Go ahead and both roll me an intelligence check. Cool. So Aldo's just picking up the weapons and just kind of like handling them, maybe checking the sharpness of the blade, rubbing his thumb across it, so on and so forth. Koa, maybe the first weapon he picked up, he had placed his hand onto the blade itself. But once he'd realized the quality of these weapons and noticed that there was definitely the blades themselves were oiled, he would probably use like his sleeve or a cloth that he has on him to wipe away the spot that he had put his hand on. And the rest of the weapons, he wouldn't actually put his open palm or his fingerprints or anything like that on the rest of the blades. I mean, you don't want a chance leaving behind any of the oils from your hand to cause like rusting or anything like that to happen later on. These things are well made and they're all oiled. They're well maintained. Let's not chance, fucking with them. And so you respect the weapons for what they are after maybe an initial touch to come to the realization of how well kept they are. Again, Aldo's kind of like, oh, whatever, touching them, and they are not even oiled. So after a few moments or whatever of doing this, you guys can get, a few minutes, I should say, a proper like assessment of them. I don't know if you speak to one another, if you go to the front, or if you continue looking about.
I would make a comment. I also want to say I would have brought the other weapons that we'd found.
Yep.
I want to make.
I assume those, Wade, you have rolled up in like a blanket, not like a leather thing, but like
I'm not just like carrying it or displaying it, but I would have them on me.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to Aldo about those real quick. But to be clear, what we have, I wrote this down, but I don't know if this is correct. I wrote down we have a long curved dagger, a head of a long spear, a bastard sword, and a broadsword with a strange design, probably for a bugbear to wield. Are those 4 correct?
It was actually, if I remember correctly, it was 3 weapons.
The broadsword and the bastard sword are maybe the same thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. I was trying to find my notes on it.
Bastard swords. Okay, so curved dagger, broad/bastard sword, and then the head of a long spear.
Hey, Forensic figured it out! Woo! Yeah! All right! Woo!
I'm not going to patronize you, Forensic.
Happy for you, Forensic. Well done.
Jake.
See, Roz, I'm not
Jake, you're not
as
even going to acknowledge.
No, well done, Forensic.
There you go.
Aldo, do you think I'm okay to show her the other weapons we'd found? Her quality of creation is quite high here. I mean, I won't even put a finger on her blade because they're well oiled and everything. I don't want to disturb the quality, but she does do fine work.
I wonder if she could restore these, right?
Perhaps.
Be able to wield something that was created hundreds of years ago. Well, just at least worth a conversation.
Is a broad/bastard sword in this system one-handed or two-handed or both?
So, fun question. So a bastard sword is because there's different types of weapons. There's simple weapons, there's martial, and there's exotic, which are different proficiencies. A bastard sword held in 2 hands is a martial weapon. A bastard sword held in 1 hand is an exotic weapon and requires specialized
I don't think
training.
I have exotic, but I think I have...
You have martial. So it requires... Now, I have all sorts of traits and whatnot for different people of different backgrounds from you that get that proficiency for free. Because like if you served in the parallel military, you almost definitely have that proficiency for free. But for you, yeah, it's 2-handed normally.
Okay. That would be an interesting one if it's... But yeah, anyway, back to our conversation. I just want to be clear. Yes, I mean the dagger, a spear, the sword would be a fine weapon. And I'm sure if they are in fact all what we think they are, then she'd probably be delighted to even see them.
Yeah, from what we know, I dare say she will be.
To be kind when you're handling things here, though. I don't want to leave a bad impression.
I'll let you take the lead here, hey?
Excellent.
He just nods.
We would either wait for her or keep going further into the shop at this point, I think.
Sure. You guys look around and you can see, again, there are not a ton of weapons on that left wall, but like a couple dozen. But each one of them is well made. You probably don't even take all of them off the wall. Just admire them because you already can understand the craftsmanship, so on and so forth. And eventually you get to the front and there's nobody immediately behind the counter that's there either. I mean, there's a door behind the counter, so it's possible somebody's back there.
I wouldn't be in a hurry to find. I think I would just take more time looking at the different weapons without necessarily handling them, but just taking more time to look at the different ways she's made swords and stuff. Just
sure.
To kind of just appreciate. We don't have to do, unless there's something interesting to find.
No.
It's more so just like Koa would just be fascinated to see her work.
Okay. So after, several minutes of being inside the shop, I mean, we're talking like maybe even upwards 15 minutes or so. It's hard to keep, not have a watch or anything, right? But after like a while of being inside the shop and looking at the different things and genuinely being distracted by it, I imagine Aldo being bored. Eventually, she would come stepping from behind the back area to where you guys are in view. So it's one of those things where she steps out. It's like she steps around the corner, so half steps out and half looks. Maybe because you guys were close enough and having a conversation that she was close enough from out back that she heard the conversation. But she definitely has that look to her like she heard something, so she was investigating as opposed to randomly walking out. So she's half in the door frame, leaning into view, and looks out and sees the two of you in there. And she says, "The hell do you want?"
Oh, to speak with you about possibly crafting a couple of weapons. Your work is admirable. It's beautiful, really. And we have a couple of things, I think, that may interest you, in fact.
Uh-huh. I don't think you have an appointment. So,
I don't think you'll want us to when we show you some weapons straight from the heart of the Mole Empire.
roll a what's the word I'm looking for here? A sense motive. Oh. Nice. Waiting for Aldo.
Oh, you want me to do it too?
I mean,
After that 20, I was like, I don't have to.
you're there.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so Aldo wouldn't pick it up, but for you, Mikhail, for you, Koa, you would realize, like, you immediately piqued her interest. Like, her next line had, like, an extra half-second pause to it. Her eyes, like, widened for a second, then narrowed. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely got her interest, but she's definitely trying to play it down. You just are seeing through it, right? And she goes, "You have any idea how often I see things come from the Mole Empire? I don't want to waste my time with those that can't even book an appointment."
Oh, I can tell I've piqued your interest, and on top of that, I won't waste your time any further. And he will, like, take out the roll of things and just, like, set it down in a place where he's not going to disturb anything else and unroll it.
It's at this point she comes, like, full-fledged through the door and is looking very agitated. Again, her whole body language, everything about it is annoyed, but she's tossed more than one glance at whatever it is that you've put onto the counter and has unfurled. Just to describe her again, so she is a hobgoblin. Hobgoblins are red skins, various tones of it could be as light as almost like a mid to light pink, all the way to like a deep dark red, right? And so all different ones because of the sex dimorphism. Female hobgoblins have no hair on their head whatsoever. It's like above the shoulders, no hair at all. Even below there, they only have tufts of fur, not even hair. It's like tufts of fur on their forearms and shins, whereas males do have hair on their head, so eyebrows, they can grow beards, they can grow hair on their head, and they also have tufts of fur on their forearms and their shins. So so she's completely bald, of course, with her, somewhat pointed ears, and she steps around the corner, and as she crosses her arms in front of her, wearing, like, the because she is a smith, right? So she's wearing leathers on her body, not necessarily armor, but the way that it wraps around her and hugs her probably doubles over as armor as well, because like how it's works on the sleeves or whatever. But despite that, you can see that she clearly is in great shape. Definitely has like a lot of tone to her, so on and so forth. So she has this like practiced agitated stance that she falls into with crossed arms as she tosses more than one glance of interest at what you're unfurling. She waits, like you can see kind of like a boiling aggravation, again, practiced, coming off of her as you finally finish unfurling this blanket or whatever it is you rolled this in, and you pull out the first weapon. Do you say anything as you do?
My companions and I were actually in a keep in the mountains that was formerly of the mole, full of all kinds of traps and such, and we'd found an outpost. Clearly, this one, he'll pull out I think it was the bastard sword. What was that, the one that
The broadsword,
the
yeah.
bugbear? The bugbear?
Mm-hmm.
He'll pull that one out first. We believe probably a bugbear had wielded this, as he like hands it over or shows her.
She gives like that sound, like the sucking of the teeth, like the, and walks over just like doubtful at what it is that you're saying, and she reaches out and she'll take it from you. Like I imagine you're gesturing to give it to her anyways.
Oh yeah.
She takes it from you, so as you'll probably have like a hand on the blade and a hand on the hilt or whatever, she kind of like grabs it by the cross piece, like at the base of where the hilt is, and she grabs it from you, and then kind of like turns to look at it, and like that way you're not seeing her facial expression or whatever it is, and she's giving it a look over. And what would have been, you can imagine, a quick look over, something that would have lasted 4 or 5 seconds, ends up going on for like 11, 12, so on. And then finally, she turns slowly back and says, "You said you found this in the mountains."
Yes. He'll pull out like the map, if you allow me. There was a keep here in this place known as the Valley of Doom, but over here further in the mountains along this trail, there was actually a smaller cave with a little side area with a room that had these in a chest. And, well, here they are.
I'm looking at the design. The design suggests that it might be of that era.
Well, perhaps comparing them with the other things that I found them with, unfortunately the spear wasn't in exactly
I don't
good
care what
shape.
you found it with. Anything could have been planted over the course of the years.
Fair enough.
I can't know without certain experimentation. And that can't be done until this has been cleaned.
I was told you're the best, so you're the one I'm bringing it to.
You have 3 weapons in front of me, and you want me to clean them.
At the very least,
start.
I'm personally interested in this one, but yes. I'd actually originally thought I was coming in to request a weapon. As you can see, I have a sword here that I've used quite a bit, and though I am young, the sword has definitely seen its share of battle at this point, and I've done my best to maintain it, but it doesn't hold a candle to the work you've done here. But yes, these weapons, I believe, have stood the test of time a lot better than some of the weapons I've seen would.
I'm going to clarify something, break RP for a second, because Kajitar's confused. And apparently Wade might be too. As a reminder, bugbears don't have human-sized hands. Their hands are fucking obnoxiously large. Big, 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 big hands. Broadsword with a hilt that is like a bastard sword. So if you go back and check the clip from before, it's a broadsword with a hilt that suggests to be like that of a bastard sword, because a bugbear's individual hand is so fucking big that a human could get 2 hands there if they wanted to. They could baseball bat it if they wanted to. Which is where
What would
the
that be
original
treated
confusion
like
came from.
if I were to try to swing it?
What was that?
What would that mean if I was to swing this sword at something? What would it be treated as?
Yeah, it's a great question. It would be so normally it would be a one-handed weapon if you have a strength score high enough to handle that, and you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even
Or
though
you can
it's
use
kind
it
of a weird
two-handed.
hilt, I could still one-hand this
Mhm.
because it's a
Yep.
broadsword.
Yep.
Okay.
Because assuming that it is usable as a weapon, which you'd find out afterwards. So
That's
get back
fair.
into the RP. So you said all those things. She says, if you want me to clean all these, I do need a payment.
Very well. And what would such an endeavor cost?
I want to keep one.
And
Oh.
what would such an endeavor cost in coin?
Before Koa can speak, Aldo says that.
Yeah. She looks at you and says, and you are?
Oh, the other person that found them.
Looks between the two of you, and then just raises, because again, lacking eyebrow, but raises an eyebrow to Koa. Like, is that bullshit?
Aldo means well, and he was one of the other companions that was with me. He's more of a crossbowman than he is a swordsman, but he is a talented marksman. And
I don't think that's what she was asking Koa.
yes,
What it will cost is one of these, she says poignantly to Aldo.
He looks over at Koa.
now I'm sure.
I don't know. I don't know, Koa. We know what we have.
They are quite valuable and quite rare, and it's hard to find anything in this kind of condition, especially from that time frame.
Yeah, especially because these were in a hidden part of that cave that we had to disable multiple traps to get to and then pick the lock.
I might not be opposed to you keeping one of these, but I think it would take more than just simply cleaning.
She places it back down, the one that she was holding by the other two, and she says, tell me, as she's dusting her hands off from like rust or whatever it was that powder was on them. If you're not going to have me clean them, who will do it for you?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. From what we've heard in Drazstone, you are quite the talented artisan.
When you said Drowstone, she furrows her brow, like she clearly grows annoyed, and like her
I
jaw
understand
locks
that.
up.
I don't know your personal business or what went down, but you do have a reputation as being a talented smith, even there.
I damn well better. So, do you want to have some apprentice handle this weapon for you?
Please do
wanna
not
have
let
somebody
either of the
ruin it?
gentlemen outside touch it. They are far too young and inexperienced, and I don't trust them with a pocket knife.
Do you want some apprentice doing it? That's the question.
Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check with that one there. What's your name? Aldo.
Thank you. Nice.
It's a good roll. Are you happy with 21?
No.
Oh, a 25!
Nice. That's exactly the direction I was hoping you'd go to.
To answer whoever's question it was an hour ago, we have 3 luck dice left.
Now we know.
Oh,
I hadn't
shit.
used one for a while, so I had no idea.
Wow. Okay, cool. Even if you're hostile, if you have a 0 charisma, that passes. Wow. Okay, or 0. Sorry, like an 11 or less, I should say, it passes. All right, cool. She's again, her if her jaw wasn't locked before, oh, it is now. You can see like a vein on her forehead starting to pulse, and she's looking at Aldo with like eyes that are threatening more than just pain. She's threatening, enjoying giving you that pain, right? And
I
she
don't know if I
holds
can say
that
no to this
stare.
one. I can say no to Yara. I don't know if I can say no to her.
She holds that stare with Aldo for like a solid 6 seconds. I mean, it's genuinely from Aldo's perspective. Like, he knows he said the right thing, but he also knows that he's probably pushing this to the edge. How does he act? Like, does he say anything? Does he do anything? Does he hold the look? Does he look away?
He holds the look, but he does say to her, he goes, I know what we have, and I know you know what we have. And he just lets that lie.
Like, long, deep breath, exhales. Fine. If I'm going to go through all of the effort to discern whether or not this is real, it is more than just grinding the blade, oiling it. There are reagents I have to get my hands on. There's a reaction I need to test it for. These are all things that require more than just knowing how to work a wheel. This requires somewhat lost knowledge that I've slowly worked on acquiring over the course of many years. Without boring you with the details, she says, even though I'm sure your characters wouldn't find it boring at all, I have been trying to recreate the process that is used to make these very weapons. I've only been able to get my hands on one sample of this before, and I was able to use it for some time, but it didn't belong to me. This all being said, the cost that you're paying isn't just for me to correctly handle the weapons and bring them to par. It's also the chance I'm taking that what you're giving me is garbage, and that I'm wasting my time, and you're also paying for the knowledge that I have to do the job correctly and to discern if these are the real ones, and moreover, give you the details around the weapons when I make that decision.
What if we were to
Wait, Koa, wait. We would be paying for that. So let me show you something. Because these are real. Aldo will take out his own coin and he like puts it up and he says, verified mole currency. Same stash as the weapons.
Again, eyes narrow, but not like dangerously, just because you're only so close and the coin is only so big. She's clearly trying to see the coin.
He like flicks it through his fingers and then puts it in two and then just holds it out. Have a look.
She takes it. She looks at it. Same idea. She turns around and looks at it. Maybe there's better light over there. Maybe she's just trying to hide facial expression, whatever it is. Looks at it for a couple of moments. It's not like it passes behind view in some way that you're worried with sleight of hand. Or maybe. But anyways,
have even more hair fall out, falls on all fours.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Red column. So anyways, so she turns back around, and as she turns around, she actually bites it. And
it was chocolate wrapped in a paper.
Bites it as she turns around, and then she looks at it again and says, "Yeah, this is real, and it's worth something." And she'll flick it back over to you to catch. Which I assume you do so no problem.
Yep.
I'm still trying. Like, is my sense motive? Can I still read, or another sense motive to see like how she's feeling about seeing the coin now too?
Oh, it is definitely verifying to her the validity of the weapons even more so. Like you can see. I would say it's a great question, Wayne. Thank you. I would say that you are seeing almost like anxiety is the wrong word. It's growing like excitement for what this is.
Okay. I'm gonna speak. Koa's gonna like speak up as she's flicking the coin back. As I was going to say, Aldo, I suppose you can cut me off if you feel you should. But we're working on acquiring even more knowledge. Perhaps knowledge that may assist you in your endeavors. We've found a method, so to speak, of